You made it, finally. Today's video I'll be talking about my thoughts after playing Test Grounds for a very long period of time. These are my opinions, so feel free to agree with me or disagree with me in the comments down below. Hope this video makes your day. So let's just get started here. Orochi, my boy Roach, the cockroach. Kick opener, amazing. You know, it looks okay. It looks like a mix between Shinobi's kick and Shaolin's kick. It's a great opener, and if he whiffs, he can pretty much chain into a lighter heavy, which is really good for being offensive and missing your kick in the first place. So if you don't have a dodge attack, you're kind of screwed, but pretty much every hero is going to have a dodge attack now. Even they gave Aramusha and Hitakiri a dodge attack, which I don't know if Hitakiri needed one. He already had a pretty good mix-up in general, but, you know, I digress. It's Ubisoft. They want to make everybody more viable in all sorts of play, in 1v1s or 4v4. The kick is great for interrupting opponents and just setting up ganks in 4v4 now, since everyone likes to do the double bash into two heavies. It's really great for not feeding revenge, and it's also good for feeding revenge too if people don't know how to gank. The kick is just, you know, I like the kick animation. I wish it kind of got Tozen's kick. And I mean, hey, it looks cool. I like getting hit by it, and I like using it. You know, I'm just glad that Ubisoft decided to give everyone an opener, and I'm just sad that it also took them this long to decide, you know what, maybe heroes need openers to open up other heroes instead of just trying to light them out of a freaking bash every single time. So good on them, props to that. Another important thing about Orochi is that he lost his third chain lights, but instead he gets a light attack after pretty much every single attack. So if he gets a light parry and he follows up with a heavy attack, he can go into another light attack that adds another 4 damage, and that nets a total of 28 damage. So that pretty much means he's like one of the top heroes, top 5 heroes that get higher than 24 damage after heavy attack. So BP, he gets the top heavy, and Warden gets the top heavy. Those are slower than their side heavies, but they're like 2 more damage, 3 more damage more than 24, right? And so these heroes, the new heroes right now, like Orochi and Shinobi, they get really high damage light parries. And so I'm not sure how I feel about that. Lawbringer, he was always supposed to have highest damage values with his heavy parries and his light parries, but, you know, I think Ubisoft is kind of going back and forth. They're just trying to realign the damage values in general, because CCU first nerfed all the damage values, and now they're trying to bring it back up a little bit higher. I like that. I like the higher damage values, because the parries felt very satisfying to pull off. Now when you pull off like 6 parries in a game, it doesn't really, it does matter, but it kind of feels like I'm parrying so much. Does it really matter if I throw out a light or not? I mean, obviously it does, because the more parries you get within a game, the higher chance of you winning, but we also don't take into account for bash attacks and 50-50s in general, and a lot of heroes like Hitakiri and unblockable spams right now is 50-50 base. So satisfying light parries that kill the opponent in like 2 or 3 or 4 hits is much more satisfying in my opinion. However, I digress. Everyone has their own opinions on the damage values in general. I think they should readjust everyone's damage values, obviously, because these heroes, the assassins, are going to get higher damage values. No, if that's just how it's going to be, then that's just how it's going to be. However, moving on to Storm Rush, absolutely insane move. One of the most beautiful moves out there. One of the most anime and weebish moves out there. Satisfying to pull off, satisfying to bait people out. It's all undodgeable now, which really helps it, because before people just dodge you anyways, and they could just block left. The best changes for this hero. The best change ever, okay? This move is awesome. This move defines Orochi. This move and his deflex define Orochi. This is the animation that defines a hero. That's why I keep saying all the time, animations define a hero. Bulwark flip is Blackbriar's defining trait. Peacekeeper's stab in the gut, in the kidney stones. I don't think that's right. The kidneys, that's what defines her. This Storm Rush defines Orochi. And also his Riptide too, but the Riptide I'll get back to later on. His Storm Rush is really good. Undodgeable, great for 4v4, great for 1v1s. It helps the viability of this move a lot more, and just makes them in general more fun to play, and that's the most important thing to me, and I think to the player base in general. You gotta make heroes fun to play. Now let's move it on to Riptide Strike. This is 500 MS. It's fast as heck. It's fast as boy, you know. it's enhanced too, and also keep in mind his dodge attack and this Riptide Strike, they're supposed to be light parries. I'm 100% sure that it's a bug. They'll adjust it later on, because we've just been seeing Orochi's dodge attack spam and do that Riptide Strike in general. I mean, we see them do it all the time, but before we get a heavy punish off of them, but now we only get a light punish. and it just feels gross. It feels incredibly gross to not punish those nasty roaches. But now, I'm pretty sure when the testing ground is over and when they release these heroes, they're going to be light parries. I can guarantee you that. So you got to be ready for it. Get ready to punish them because they'll be spamming like crazy. They won't be able to spam their 3 light chains anymore. They'll be spamming those moves. So watch out for that. But yeah, Riptide Strike, 500 MS, enhanced lights. Now, these enhanced lights are really important because whenever you fought like a BP or a Conqueror or Warlord and you dodge on reaction, you wouldn't be able to punish them and your guard would get your light attack would get knocked off because they could block. But now you can go into your dodge light, deal some chip damage, and go into your unblockable mix-up or your kick mix-up into empty dodge or GB. So this is incredibly helpful for these heroes, especially helpful for Orochi. So any other hero that needs dodge attack enhanced lights, they need that. That's why Berserker got that, and that's why Orochi's getting it as well. So it's really good for the highest levels of play and also really good for 4v4 as well. So faster attacks is nice. However, I did like the old Riptide a lot better. The really slow one, it was amazing if you guys remember that. Season 1 all the way up to Season 5, I believe that's when they changed it. One of the coolest moves out there. Of course, it was probably terrible since everyone didn't know how to play the game, but still, it was really fun to play. Alright, so I've said a lot about Orochi, way too much. He just had a lot to cover, honestly, because he got so much good changes to him, quality of life changes, and good openers as well. Let's just move on to Raider, since he will be fairly quick. Now, Raider, a lot of people have said he's feeling a lot more clunkier, and I think one of the reasons is because he lost his hyper armor trade potential, and he didn't lose all of it. It's just that it's less brain dead, since it's more consistent on feint timings. And I like to compare his hyper armor compared to Warlords, because Warlords chain heavies are slightly faster than Raiders chain heavies. Of course, Raiders, personally, I think his are way more satisfying to pull up because his animations just feels like he's throwing like a truck at you every single time. And because of that, if you go into a light whiff or dodge a light attack, his hyper armor startup, if you do a light attack and try to interrupt him, he will get knocked out of that simply because his heavies are so slow. So it's kind of a tricky situation. You can't just trade all the time anymore. The difference is that Warlord, he could trade more often because he only has 2 strings, right? Raider has a bunch of chain strings to deal damage to you, and he also has stunning tap mix up within that. And let's just talk about stunning tap right away too, because the 400 MS, it's really fast. I get hit by it all the time now. Before the 500 MS stunning tap, storming tap, I could get hit by it like 50-50, or maybe even like a little bit less if I was focusing. But if I'm focusing, I'm going to get hit by this 400 MS Storming Tap because he has a lot of mix-up variability within his chain heavies. If you want to take all that chip damage, go ahead. It's going to add up, and you're going to lose like maybe a light damage, a light amount of damage, you know, like 15 damage or so. And so he also has like his heavy into storming tap, his heavy into GB, soft vein GB, and into an enhanced zone. Keep in mind his zones and his enhanced zone got buffed significantly. It's been 15 stamina damage and 12 stamina damage, so you can just spam that as much as you can. He's got a lot of chain offense now, so you have to kind of stop him in some way, but you can't necessarily stop him with like an option select or a light attack. And if you go for like a bash, if your hero does have a bash, then that's good. If he decides to like try to feint that into like a GB, but if he lets those fly, you're going to eat that to the face, and his chain heavy damages does a lot. And so Raider overall, I feel he's actually a lot stronger just because his damage values are good, and he can go into a faster stunning tap now with better stamina consumption. And seriously, let's not forget about his stampede charge, because you're gonna get guard broken from a Raider. His enhanced zone attack, there's no more option selects, and so you're gonna have to face 38 damage to the face with his enhanced zone. I think that's a little bit too high, but you know, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think it's way too high. But then again, that gives him a serious edge on just pure offense since he doesn't have a bash. It's all about chain pressure, you know? And so I'm not sure how I feel about that, but still, it's insane. So if he goes into that, you're either going to have to parry, make a good read, or take the GB, which if he goes for a GB, he's going to stampede charge you. He can land a zone attack, which is 24 damage with low consumption, and also chain from it with a light attack or a heavy attack to get into a mix-up once again. And if you're near a wall, he can also zone attack you to enter a pure 50-50 where you either have to parry or you just take the hit again, because you don't have time to dodge out of it because you're stuck on the wall with the Raider towering over you, about to like freaking blast you in the face. And you know, there's just not much you can really do in that aspect besides make a read and parry that stuff, because I think you are blinded too, and so you have to really focus, otherwise you're screwed. And so that chain potential with his mix-up variability in his guard break punish is really strong, and that's what really separates him. And that's why he kind of doesn't really need a bash, because his chain pressure is just so good now. And so overall, that's pretty much Raider's rework. You know, he's got faster top lights, less stamina consumption on his zone attacks. In the end, Raider has always been like a decent hero. He's been like a hidden gem. All you have to do was have good reactions back then and just pretty much make reads every single time on the option selects. However, now that they've removed option selects and they made him slightly faster, the core kit of Raider has always been pretty strong, because Stampede Charge has always been a good move. And I mean, all in all, that's pretty much Raider. I'm liking how he's playing. He feels very strong, not too overpowered compared to another hero that I'll be talking about. And let's just get down into it. Let me know your thoughts about Raider, those Raider mains out there. But Shinobi, what the flock is going on with this guy? Obviously, guys, first thing I want to say, the kick into the ranged heavy doing wall splats, that's a bug, obviously. You shouldn't be able to wall splat after freaking in the middle of the map and getting hit across the map and hitting a wall into a sickle rain. Obviously, that's not okay. I don't think that was intentional. Obviously, a bug. So let's just not even talk about that, because that has been a nightmare in testing grounds in 4v4 and also in 1v1s as well. Absolutely cancerous for the game. I think that's even worse than Sent cutscene. I'm not gonna lie to you. Is it worse than Sent cutscene? What do you guys think? It's pretty bad. I mean, is it as bad as Warden's one-hit KO plunge attack? I'm not sure. However, I digress. Let's just talk about the buffs and the animation changes for Shinobi. My god. Okay, let's talk about the good first. The good is that they took away his quad dash. I mean, that's kind of a double-edged sword, because I like the quad dash. He looked amazing when he did that. I feel like a ninja, but they gave him a side dodge kick, they gave him a forward dodge kick, and they also kept his double dodge kick. And so that makes it so that he could actually, on a read, he could pretty much punish certain attacks very easily compared to other heroes with just one dodge bash. And so it kind of makes him still a safe pick when he does the double dash. That's really helpful. However, he won't be able to backflip from a lot of his moves unless it's from like guaranteed damage after like one of those heavies, and so it's very healthy for the game. I'm glad they removed that. You're gonna have to get used to it, but they did add in a lot of buffs and reworks with his moves. He gets a lot of chain pressure now. After the parry, he can go for the parry animation. There's a 50-50 within that. He can either do a kick to land the ranged heavy attack, or he can do the undodgeable side heavies. Now this will track you and this will hit you hard with a sickle rain. Absolutely insane mix-up. It's pretty much the same mix-up as Griffin, because his kick is also really, I think the recoveries is pretty much non-existent. It's very non-existent. You can't even punish it with a dodge attack. Because I've played it before and I've tried punishing with the dodge attack. I think dodge bash is the only thing you can punish it with. Obviously, I think they're gonna fix that, because it's a little bit too strong when it kind of feels like Griffin kick, but like the opposite of Griffin kick, as in the kick is more safe, and then the undodgeable light is more punishing. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. We'll have to see the surveys, how people feel about that and what they want the hero to be. But of course, he gets chain mix-ups. He gets, after Garbrick, a sickle rain every single time. That's a little bit strong in my opinion, because it sets up an insane amount of gank potential. They're obviously going to fix the infinite chain sickle rain gank. They're going to add some more revenge and all that Gucci stuff, because it's a little bit overpowered. It feels very unfun to play against, and it feels like you're hit stunned for days. And hit stun has always been just like, if something happens to you and you can't do anything about it, like a freeze mechanic, not good game design. It's not good balance design. Whatever devs keep adding freeze mechanics in a PvP game, that's just idiotic. Absolutely idiotic. And the same thing can kind of be said for hit stun, but For Honor is just a weird niche game where hit stun is kind of helpful, because you want to eliminate your opponent very quickly. Otherwise they get revenge, and they also stall for long periods of time. So it's kind of a necessary evil, however. But there's also tons of other variables into play as well, like positioning and parrying and externals and all that stuff. However, back to Shinobi. The most helpful change to this hero, I would say, in my opinion, is giving him strings. Finally, he gets a light into heavy. Now this has just been incredible, because his top heavy, is now unblockable. His side heavies are undodgeable, so it just gives him a lot of fun variability within the hero. You know, you don't have to just do light into backflip and then just wait for your opponent to make a mistake on positioning and just light him when you want to punish him. It's just a tedious gameplay. Obviously, it was super fun as Shinobi to play that way, but it wasn't fun for the other person to fight against you because you're just so good at spacing your opponent out, and no other hero had good tracking tools to capture you. You know. But I digress. The light into heavy feels so good. His somersault, his forward flip that he could go into, it now becomes a 50-50 where you can do his backflip kick now enters into a berserker guard break animation that looks absolutely atrocious. Now this looks terrible. Like, no person, I don't care how much you love For Honor, no person can defend this animation. Like, what is going on here? So it looks like he's flapping his wings and like not even flapping it like berserkers whiffed guard breaks. It just looks terrible. I hope they fix that, but I'll talk about animations later. This animation looks terrible, right? It's a good mix-up because he can go into like an undodgeable, right? An undodgeable heavy attack to catch your dodge, or you can do the kick and you can land that 15 damage light attack, or I think it's 12 damage. However, it just looks bad, and it just looks bad. I don't know what else to say about it. It just makes me sad. Like, it's terrible. They could at least gave him like the chain light attack finisher, you know, the one where he just swipes across like that. But they had to give him like a new reused animation. I don't know why they did that. I'm confused. But however, it's a really good mix-up. He has a lot of chain mix-ups now, which is crazy. He likes 2 different types of chain mix-ups added along with undodgeables and unblockable mix-ups. Makes him a very strong pick even without his bug where he can pretty much wall splat you every single time with his ranged heavy after a kick. You know, even without that, very strong pick, very fun hero to use now. I think that's the most important thing. I keep telling everyone, make a hero fun to play as and against, and you'll have a balanced game, and you'll have a game that people keep wanting to come back to. Obviously, people want to come back to For Honor because it's the only game out there, and a lot of people just left in general. But you know, this game has just been amazing. You know, it's been amazing with all these reworks, and with the removal option selects, it just feels good now. And I mean, that's pretty much it about the good stuff. There's just so much good stuff about the new rework Shinobi, and I think a lot of people enjoyed playing him and enjoyed. Actually, no, they did not enjoy fighting against him, especially with the wall splat bug. However, there is a lot of bad things about Shinobi right now. The animations, as I've said before, are bad. There's only like 2 bad animations in general. The rest is honestly okay. The berserker one that I was talking about, where he does the forward flip into the kick, that animation just looks really bad. The running sprint attack, forward flip somersault attack that lands you a heavy attack as well, that also looks really bad. It looks like an old man trying to do a somersault for the first time in his life, and he does like one of those half somersaults where he doesn't like go fully all the way, just like turns his body to the side. That's what it looks like to me. And Shinobi's like a young lad or a young girl running around, right? He's a Shinobi. He has to be nimble, but he looks like an 80-year-old man trying to do a somersault. That's just my opinion. No, I think it's fact. I think it's factual. It looks terrible. You can't really defend it, honestly. If you can defend it, give me a good reason why. Let me know in the comments, okay? Because I can't find a reason. I cannot find a reason. However, that's pretty much it for the bad animations. And one thing I want to say about animations is that we've seen Griffin's animations and Warmonger's animations in the past in early access and everything like that. And we've talked about it. We're like, these animations kind of look janky. They don't look really finished, but I'm sure they'll polish it off after testing grounds or after EA is over. But however, guys, I'm here to inform you that they didn't. Okay, guys, most of the times they didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't because they all looked the same to me, in my opinion. Griffin still has his animations look like they skip kind of. Warmonger has the same lights as Warden except sped up. Honestly, Warmonger's not that bad, but I wish he got our own side lights. But Griffin's, you know, he's pretty much reused assets all over the place. You know, they're not gonna fix it. I think they'll probably save it for like another season where they just focus entirely on animations and just smoothing things out once they get their mocap going and everything like that. I'm a little bit confused. If someone wants to explain to me, they can make emotes, but they can't make like executions and animations look good. But they can make emotes where, you know, I'm assuming they can't move that much or whatever. But like some execution, I mean, they have new executions. Wait, I'm confused. Well, those are probably old. I don't know. Someone explain to me down there, okay? Down in the comments. I would really appreciate that. And I mean, that's about it, really. You know, we're bound to have bugs and glitches like Shinobi's wall splats and, you know, weird damage values in the test grounds, but that's what it's all about. So I want you guys to go to the survey. I'll probably put a link down below and make it so that you voice your opinions on what is good, what is bad, what you think should happen, what is healthy for the community, what is healthy for the hero, what you guys think personally and want for the hero to be in the future. You know, I think the devs have taken some ideas to heart and have changed the hero accordingly. You know, unfortunately they didn't give an unblockable to Orochi, which I desperately claimed and yelled at them for, but they didn't do that. However, Orochi is just much more viable now, and so are all the rest of these heroes. You know, they're really good. I'm hoping that Lawbringer gets a rework soon, and also Conqueror as well. I think the only issue is that Conqueror just needs to feint his heavy attacks. That would really help him a lot. It would really go a long way, because he does have those chain heavy attacks. If he could just feint that into a GB, would just go a long way. You know, since option select's going to be removed, it'll be helpful. He still has that one option select with his zone attack though. That's kind of an issue. If it doesn't, if they make it so that it doesn't block light attacks, if it doesn't have superior blocks, then it would be good. Just have it as an attack indicator. That would be helpful, very helpful. It's a big nerf, but it's a healthy nerf because his defensive capabilities are very tedious to fight against. They're not necessarily the strongest right now since they'll be removing option selects, but it's just tedious to fight against. And I mean, and so these are my last thoughts. Overall, I'm super happy with all these changes. It brings the old cast back in line with the top tiers, the power creep, and just with the rest of the cast. They feel more fun to play, and I won't really have to worry about hero picks necessarily when I'm playing in 4v4 and 1v1, you know, because back then it's pretty much hero pick in general. There is a meta. You pick the strongest heroes to win your games and do the easiest ganks. Now that pretty much every single hero has a ganking tool, a kick, a bash, and unblockable, you'll be helpful for a change. You'll feel helpful. You won't have to be going into Orochi, into a Dominion, and just being like whiff lights into heavies all the time. You can actually do bashes and then set up ganks for double heavies and all that good stuff. I commend the devs for working on these heroes so we can finally enjoy them a bit more. You know, it's great, and I know it takes a lot of work and a lot of brain power, you know, a lot of brain power and a lot of help from the community as well. You know, a lot of the community members have helped people out on Reddit, on YouTube, all that good stuff. I know all of you guys won't agree with every single change or my opinions in general, but you know, that's okay. It's all about discussing things and having the best ideas come out. Perfect balance will never be reached, but hey, at least we can try to enjoy these changes and create, you know, beautiful memories along the way, because that's what it's all about. That's what this channel is all about. It's about growing, sharing good times with you guys, and, you know, just making a strong community and just trying to be happy, you know, because life is hard. Life is hard, especially at a young age, you guys. You know, I'm trying to guide you guys, guide myself. You guys teach me things. If I make a mistake on YouTube, I do some stupid ass stuff, I have you guys call me out for it, and then, you know, I try to improve. You know, some people will criticize me, and I want constructive criticism along the way, and I'll try to adjust it if I see fit and if I think that's the direction I want to take it. So thank you so much for the support, everybody. That is going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts down below on what other heroes need to be reworked. I think Lawbringer needs to be reworked significantly. Conqueror, Valkyrie as well, maybe just a few tweaks here and there. And let me know your thoughts down below. Really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight and today. Sorry for the late video upload, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel as well. It will be in the description. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. Really do love you guys. Take care, and you made it to the end of the video.